there a moment when things are rolling and that you saw your plan visualized, like for real, or like, wow, I did it?
Yeah. I've never said I did it, because it's funny. Maybe the year I would have said I did it was the year that I purchased the team after our 2019 season, and it was like, wow, we did, but then again, as the world does to all of us, 3 months later, COVID hit.
Right. John Bollinger has made a career out of having fun. Owner and CEO of the Bismarck Larks and Fun Addicts events, John has created an organization that uses fun to make a difference in people's lives. Welcome, John.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. When you're talking to someone in Bismarck, North Dakota about a good way to spend a summer night, I think a lot of people are going to say, go to a Larks game. And me, personally, I'm thinking like 10 years ago, before the Larks were a thing, that wouldn't have even been a thought to go to a baseball game in Bismarck, North Dakota. But you've done that. And so I'm really excited to learn about the whole experience and how you created something from nothing and something that's just a Bismarck landmark, really. Yeah, well,
thanks. I mean, 7 years is not a long time, but it also feels like a long time that we're celebrating this season. And I can't wait to share that journey with you. And again, ultimately, I'm just so grateful for the Bismarck and Mandan community for the support they've given us. So excited to share.
How did the Bismarck Larks come to Bismarck?
Yeah. So I'll try to give the highlight reel of my story. So, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, originally, born and raised, always been a baseball fan, kind of stunk on the field, which is why I wear polos and dress pants now. But I always had a passion for the game. I worked for the Cardinals AA team, and I ended up going to grad school at Ohio University and met the owner of the Northwoods League, Dick Raditz Jr. And I'll never forget, first time I met him, we had lunch, and he was my mentor, right, in the program that I went to at OU. And he said, John, I don't know what you want to do, for your career. I'll help you, whatever. But if you come work for me in this league, the thing I can promise you is someday you can own a baseball team. And I thought, this guy's full of it. What does that mean? What is this Northwoods League thing?
How old were you then?
So I would have been, I had 22. So I, but got to know him really well and finished my degree at OU. And I had the opportunity when I left, kind of what I thought I wanted to do was 2 job offers in pro sports, was with the Daytona 500. So NASCAR, I'm not really a NASCAR fan, but it would have been selling regional, national sponsorships. And then at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And here's this, my start in sports. And Dick said, hey, I'll be starting a team in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which again, my parents are like, you're going the wrong way, dude, weather-wise, what's going on? But I thought, I wasn't an owner of the team, but to go there, start the team with another guy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm 24 now. I can go start a baseball team. There's no name. It's me and this other guy. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? 2 years from now, this is horrible. And I leave and, I'm still 26 and I can go do something else. But I really trusted Dick and the league. I learned so much about the league. I thought this would be fun. So I moved up there. My buddy and I started the Kalamazoo Growlers, and it took off. We had one of the best inaugural season in summer collegiate baseball history. I met my now wife. I knew everyone in town. It was awesome. I mean, I loved it. I loved Western Michigan, and we had so much fun. And so 2 years into that, after our second season, Dick, we're golfing, and Dick goes, hey, you're not going to believe it. He goes, I have a market. I didn't realize it'd happen this fast, but you've really proven yourself, and I have a market. I want a team, and if you go run it, you can purchase it from me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like Dick, yeah, like let's go, and I know the leagues and, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And I'm going, okay, my wife's from Wisconsin. I'm like, where is it? I can't wait. And he said, Bismarck, North Dakota. Mm-hmm. And I literally fell down on the tee box, and he had like a 300-yard drive right in the fairway. I'm like, where? What? That is so far from anywhere in the league, and I don't know anyone from there. And now my parents really are going to think I'm going the wrong way, right? But I thought, God, this opportunity's It's incredible. I'm sure the people in North Dakota will be just as welcoming and awesome as they were when I moved to Kalamazoo. And so my wife and I we got married, went on our honeymoon, and moved all in the same month. Recruited my fraternity brother from college. He quit his job and moved in 2 weeks. Recruited 2 idiots that worked at the Growlers. Now Aaron Guerrero and Nate Maddox, who still are with us. And we literally packed up the same U-Haul, the 3 of us, with our one wife, one girlfriend, and one single guy. I'm sure you can guess who had the least amount of stuff. And we moved here and knew nobody, but we had a real vision for what we wanted to accomplish. I really felt confident in the strategy we had put together, which is very unique and different from a lot of teams. But the most important, and you led with this, and I'm thankful for that, our mission has always been and was, no matter what happens, we want to use fun to make a difference in people's lives. That will be the driving force. I don't know if this will work or fold or how successful it will be, but I do know everything we do will be driven by ensuring that from our employees, our players, the fans, the community, we will make a difference. And it took off. So that is the cliff notes of that story.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Did it take off right away? I mean, did you just see this? Wow, it's momentum right away.
You said your Kalamazoo team was most attendance in an inaugural season, but you did that with the Larks again, didn't you?
Well, so different things, right? So Kalamazoo, larger market, about double the size, maybe triple the size of Bismarck Mandan, and larger stadium. Almost 4,000 seats there. So they hadn't had a team there for, I believe, 10 to 12 years. And so, I mean, I think that season we averaged, we had total attendance with about 80,000. We've never reached that here. We just don't have the amount of seats. Yeah. So different in that regard. But what is really special about the Larks and what we've done in Bismarck Mandan is the percentage and the degree of sold out games, right? So we have a market of, if you had it all together and then some, we're sitting maybe 120, in our metro. And it's not like a lot of communities in our league where your metro might be a percentage, but then there's larger cities or other cities outside of your demographic. The joke we kind of said moving up here is like, well, moving to Bismarck's like moving to an island surrounded by land, right? I mean, there's just not, which is a good thing because there's not like there's a ton of alternatives and options for entertainment, and you're going to draw from your smaller towns because this is the big town, but you're limited in what your population is. But what we did here was just remarkable in the sense of the immediate response. So to answer your question, Brian, yes, I mean, we came in, I would say how we were different. We said from the get-go, we're not a baseball team, which upsets the purists in the room. But yes, we love baseball, and we have a fantastic league and fantastic talent, and we can talk about that later in the podcast. But I knew very early on that if we were going to be successful in this market, just like in any of our markets, we are selling family entertainment. I tell people we're in the happy business, we're in the memory business, we're in the fun business. And so we had to really look at that and say, okay, well, what does that mean? How do we go about doing that? And probably the biggest thing from a ticket perspective was, well, what do fans really want? And I think the old adage is, well, fans want season tickets. Let's get a ticket to every game. That's insane. I mean, okay, I love baseball. I love it. I do not go to all the games. I can't. All right. I have 2 little kids now. My wife will, she'll pick it up and leave me. Right. At 36 games, no one can do that in 3 months. So we were like, well, what do fans really want? And we created the package. It was our 7-pack. Now it's our Family Flock memberships, but it was 7 games spaced out, all you can eat food and beverage, so all inclusive, this all inclusive mentality, jersey, a hat, flexibility. Well, you can swap at any time, get a ticket. And in that first season, we priced it. You could get a ticket for $15, right? I mean, all that. And so the accountant in our room was like, hot dogs 3. And then what do you mean, John? It's like, well, would you rather have 500 people paying full price and who knows if it's going to work? Or would you rather have super loyal, fans that feel so much value, they're getting so much out of this, and they're going to keep coming back, and they're creating an atmosphere, right? So that was we call it the sellout mentality. That was our big idea. But you never know, is people going to buy to this? And that first year when we came here, we got an office, we had 6 full-time employees, we invested, but we had no capital and revenue, And, we had some investment and money in the bank, but it was like, okay, here we go. And from, after that, right away, that by that Christmas, we had sold, our goal was to sell 1,000 of those packs.
Yeah.
We sold 1,100 by December.
Wow.
And that's when it was like, oh my God, and we don't sell 1,900. So that was the true catalyst of like, we got something. And once you can tell a sponsor and everybody else, look, I got fans. We have people that are interested. This is a thing. This isn't like every other team. That was the narrative, right? I mean, that's when it was like, wait a second, this could be something.
Did this idea of making it all about fun and kind of a family thing come from your experience in Kalamazoo, or is this all you?
Not all. I mean, I've heard a long time ago, good artists copy and great artists steal. And so I think my greatest attribute, and from a very humble standpoint, is that I'm not the best in creating a new idea, but I can maximize ideas. And so this philosophy actually came from two gentlemen by the name of John Spolstra and Steve DeLay. If you're in sports marketing, these two would be in the Hall of Fame, right? They're like the Babe Ruth of sports marketing. John Spolstra got his start in the NBA back in the 70s and the 80s. Really one of the first guys to think differently, not just he worked for the Nets, and his story, they were horrible in the 80s. And so instead of trying to sell people stuff that's, no one wanted, he created a 5-game pack and said, look, buy the pack, commit to us, and you'll get the 5 games everyone wants. Jordan and against Shaq, he literally sold the away players. And so instead of people could buy single game tickets to those games, you had to buy the pack or it was sold out, right? And he'd give away underwear, one game, rubber chickens, he did all these goofy promotions he did, so he really one of the first gurus. And then he got into minor league baseball, and the big team that took off was the Dayton Dragons. Have you ever heard of them? Single A club. I think they've sold out every single game since, I want to say like 2002. They have the longest sellout streak in sports history. And this same philosophy, create value, create the sellout mentality, create an experience, people will love it. And so in grad school, I heard him speak in a class. I befriended him, really took some of these ideas to Kalamazoo. And then I ended up convincing our league owner, Mr. Raditz, and my buddy Brian in Kalamazoo, and said, we got to get this guy. Can we have him come in and talk? And we had a couple day session, and it was just like the light bulb went off for everybody. Like, this is different. Now, anyone can take an idea on how to do something and read the book, right? But then it's going to take the execution, the time, the energy, the ideas to really commit to it and the belief in it. So I think the Larks, of anybody, and Steve would probably tell you this, I think we've executed on a philosophy maybe better than anyone outside of himself. We have done it, and so that I'm very proud of. But that whole concept and idea, really came from that. And then just my experience in minor league baseball. And I loved it when I was with the Cardinals AA team. We're not selling, I think MLB and the pro sell winning and stars, two things I can't control at this level. Right. So if I can't control it, that doesn't sound like a good business to be in. Right. So I can't control the experience. I can't control the entertainment. So that's what we focus on.
When you're in this U-Haul with your buddies driving to Bismarck, is that what it was? Were you all just caravanning down?
Yeah, the largest U-Haul you could get. I was with my dad. My dad's actually been every move in my life has come with me, which thank God, because he's the master Tetris packer. And everyone was behind me. And we left. Actually, my wife stayed. She had to work in Kalamazoo, so she stayed. I left her with an air mattress and our dog for like 3 weeks.
So your headspace then, are you coming into Bismarck with like a confidence, like I know how to do this, so I'm going to do it and execute, or are you kind of like I've never been to Bismarck, are they going to receive it? And
it's funny looking back. I think you have to, right? And Brian, you could probably attest to this, and same with you, Nolan, right? There was so many reasons it should have failed, but I didn't believe in that. I just knew. I knew that if I believe so much in this philosophy, I believe so much in my work ethic, right? I am not the smartest guy in the world. There's a lot of things I have a lot of deficiencies in, but I will outwork anybody if I believe in it. And I just believed that if we came in here and we did it right, And again, I think that's where I love our mission, right? Our mission is to use fun to make. I believed in the mission. I believed in making a difference. That is what drove me. I love, we probably all read the business book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek, and all these things. For me, it was like my chance to be on my own and try and fail. But I knew it would eventually be what I saw it to be. It honestly happened faster than I ever could have expected it. But I did believe 100% it would work.
How about the history of baseball in Bismarck?
Yeah.
Did that help you at all coming in, whether it's the Rattlers or going way back to the Barons or anything?
It's a lot of, you get here and the naysayers are the first thing you hear, right? Because, everyone said that, right? I mean, and it's probably true. I mean, people, John, hey, good on you. Love to have something back here, but hey, man, baseball doesn't work. I mean, we've tried it. The Rattlers were here. It didn't work. Teams have come and gone. Sport teams just don't get the support. You need to win. John, it's going to be tough. They love the river.
Who's telling you this?
They, the collective they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
is it potential sponsors or
anybody that's, and they're trying to help. It's not a negativity. It's like hey, I just temper yourself. Right. And here I'm this young entrepreneur and go and we're going to just take over the world. Right. We have to think like that. Right.
They're just standing at the base of the mountain telling you how cold it's
but that's the story. Everyone has that story, right?
Yeah.
It's not, and so you have to, I think, so to answer your question, did that give me confidence? Not really. I don't think that played a role. I think a couple of things that, and I talked to Dave Gilbertson, who is a fantastic guy. Dave Gilbertson was the GM, director of promotions for the Rattlers back in the 90s. Amazing guy, amazing stories. We were talking, I had him back as we did the Rattlers night, and he said, John, I think one of the key things that made it not work for us was our league was bad. The league was in and out, the Prairie League. Teams were folding. They have 4 teams, right? So you have to have a strong league. We have that. The Northwoods League is, the premier summer collegiate league in the country. Run very, very, very well. 2, you need a great facility. And I do believe that. And back then they had bleachers. I mean, it was not somewhere you'd want to go to truly get that experience. We're fortunate. Bismarck Parks and Rec, Bismarck Baseball Boosters, all the youth teams, there was a group of people in 2010 to 2013 that put money into Muni and made it what it is. It's a beautiful, intimate, great place to see that a game. And so those 2 things I think gave me great confidence. And then to be in a market like Bismarck, what I loved, there wasn't anything for 20 years. We could write our own story, right? Where you go other places, a team has come and gone so recently, you kind of have to battle maybe some of that. It was 20 years without it. So you had this nostalgia. You had a lot of things, I think a lot of positive things going for us. And what I just was unaware of at the time fully was, what a great place to be. Bismarck Mandan is rocking. What a great economy. What a great place to raise a family. It has such stable industry. So, it is just, truly an incredible place to live. And I hit the jackpot with that, right? There's a lot of places we could have gone. So all those factors is what made it. But no, I don't think whether it worked or not in the past to me really was a thought.
So you said you came here with some money in the bank. Were you the owner right away?
No.
Okay.
So, to share. So again, I think I really give kudos to people like, yourselves. I think I call myself maybe a diet entrepreneur, right? I think the true entrepreneurs at one time in their life have to mortgage their home, right? To really sweat. So my story was a little different where, again, I am outside of maybe my parents, the most impactful person in my life that's influenced me and been truly a mentor and friend and father-like figure is Dick Raddatz, the owner of the Northwoods League. And he, just took me in and very much cared about me. Obviously, it's a business relationship as well, and I needed to prove myself. But our thing was this, there is a fee to come in the league, right? An affiliation fee that all teams have to pay to start the team. And Dick's also a businessman. He wanted the market, but there was no investor. There wasn't someone that would purchase it from him. So that's where I think I was a strategic fit, but also we had talked about it, and so his thing with me was, hey, you come in, I'll own. He owned the team, right? He did sell a portion. We have 2 local partners who are incredible guys, Glenn and Julie Bosch, and Terry and Jan Daffenroot. They purchased a minority share of the team from Dick and the league. And then Dick and his wife, Kathy, owned the majority share, and that was mine to purchase. So as the team performed, I could pay him back through that. So I didn't need to go to the bank. I didn't need to do any of that. But, when someone puts money in the account and says, hey,
yeah,
go ahead, run the team, but, hey, go ahead. It's like, I don't want to be going back to the bank, and going, hey, I need more. So I was always very motivated. It's not my money. I need to pay this back, and I need to do it right.
Which is sometimes more stressful than your own
money.
Sure,
yeah.
Happy to lose my own money, but if someone else loses their money because of me.
It was, you're right. And again, it probably, looking back at the time, I should have been probably more worried about it, but I just wasn't. I just believed so much, and this is where Dick was just so great. He never, ever made me feel any pressure at all. He knew it's going to take time. And this is a long, I was probably very more short term than anybody, and he saw this as the long term, and I'm so grateful, and it put me in a position to be successful.
And you were, so people in their 20s will change jobs. I don't know what the statistic is, a bunch of times.
Sure.
Anyway. So, but he didn't have a plan B after John. Like you're not. He's not thinking you're going to get sick of this and like, hey, I gave it a shot.
Well, no, you never life. I think if you ever assume you'll
right
I think we had such a great relationship. I think we just knew, obviously things could have gone so different, who knows, but we both very much trusted each other, and I knew too. This is going to be, where can you get this opportunity? Okay, even I look back, for anybody that's listening, maybe I want to work in sports, right? You would think, and I always thought, I want to be the president of the Cardinals someday. I want to be in pro sports. I think what I learned by working with Dick and the league is there's other things outside of the brand that are more important in a job. Mm-hmm. Control, make your own schedule. I work a lot. Okay, our team works a lot, but I get to do what I love. I don't have a boss. I'm my own boss. Mm-hmm. I get to hire a team. I get to create a vision. I get to set a culture. I get to listen truly to what our customers saying, and I can change it whenever I want. So like those things I learned early on. I can go work for the big brand or a big team, but guess what? I'll be in the bureaucratic, process, and who knows what can happen. So it just hit me early. This is what I'm doing, and this is it. People go all the time. There's just this adage of like, oh, what's next? You're going to move up to the big leagues. Like, no, I'm living the dream. I have the greatest job in the world. I love what I do. And it's, for me, it's about how do we keep expanding and building on our experience here, potentially other events, other places in North Dakota. This is my home, and we just love it and are so grateful to be here.
Was there a moment when things are rolling and that you like realized that you saw your plan visualized, like for real, or like, wow, I did it?
Yeah. I've never said I did it, because it's funny. Maybe the year I would have said I did it was the year that I purchased the team after our 2019 season. So after 3 seasons, and it was like, wow, we did, but then again, as the world does to all of us, 3 months later, COVID hit.
Right. Yeah.
What a gut.
So here I am having purchased a team. I don't have any money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought the team.
Yeah.
And maybe the most shocking situation in any business owners, and maybe all of our lives from a personal and business standpoint happens, right? So no, I'm happy for that. I just think for me, and this is probably a fault, right? But all of us that are good entrepreneurs, I think that I'm never truly satisfied. I'll be very grateful, and I'll think back after each season and think about the positives and what we did and how we grew, and I'll be proud of that. But then it's always, We got to fix this. We got to improve this. Why isn't this the way it is? What's next? What's the vision? Where are we going? So I think I would say that would be the year, but then
so you bought it in, I don't know, January or something, and then a few months later.
End of the year. We finished it, wrapped everything up, done. Yeah. So I had 3 months of like, ooh,
yeah,
hey, I own a baseball
what's
team.
next?
Yeah. So what were you thinking then when COVID hit? What how are you going to pivot, or are you just like, the plan is the plan, just keep going?
Well, no. Yeah. I think, but all of us could have a story, right? But I do think it's a book because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Bismarck Larks were the first sports team in the United States of America to play a game with fans in the stands.
Is that right?
June 15th, 2020. No other organized league played with fans in the stands.
And that was
crazy.
Was that like your decision? Was that just?
Oh yeah, and
we thank you for that.
No, I had to thank the state of North Dakota and because I think that's what I learned too is there were so many things out of people's control, right? And first and foremost, we had to be safe. What an unknown thing and a scary thing, and so maybe I'll backtrack. My wife and I were on a baby moon at the time in March, right, when it all happened. And, we were it was a fun time. It's like, we're going on this trip. We have the team. We'll start, we're looking to start our family. And so we go to Jamaica. And right then it says, you're hearing all this stuff. And literally while we're on our trip, we turn the TV on, stock market crash. Then 1,000 cases in California. Next day, click, go to the pool. The next day, it's NBA canceled season. Okay, click, and then my favorite is our, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, says, get home by Saturday or you may not come back. Okay, our flight's on Saturday. We should get home. Surreal, right? Surreal. And you get back and everyone's just doesn't, close the office, not close the office. What do we do? But very, I have a great team and we can't do it on our team, but we just a couple of things. We were very fortunate that we have such a loyal fan base. So a lot of people auto renew their tickets, right? And sponsors are multi-year partners. And we, so you think any business from a cash flow standpoint, right? We had people that had already kind of bought packages or put down payments. So it wasn't like that where some businesses holy crap, how are we going to keep things afloat? It was like, okay, hey, we have time here to wait. But I said to our team, 2 weeks in, I said, guys, here's the deal. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I said, I can't lose. I don't have any money to lose. We can't lose money. I said, but here's the deal. I said, if we can make $1 this year, we can keep everyone employed. But I said, and most importantly, and maybe that and the employee, keep everyone employed. I said, we don't lose any customers' trust. Okay. I said, we got to do whatever it takes. We got to get creative. We got to think out of the box. Well, again, this is what's so cool. I always said, we're not in the baseball business, right? We're in the fun business. Mm-hmm. So if we can't play baseball, that's fine. Because the big thing then was you can't have a group of whatever, 50, 100 people, So we started brainstorming, guys, we were going to do social distancing 7-game packs. We seriously had a scavenger hunt, we're going to do in Kiwanis Park and we're going to have this. We were thinking, we had this whole thing with sponsors. We were going to find, we were going to do, get into content and, we were just going to figure out how can we do anything to salvage something to give value. And we opened up those lines of communication early, often, we wrote we said, hey, everyone hang tight. We are going to do what's right here. We're going to try to find some way to provide you value. We're waiting to hear. And I am just, again, you talk about Bismarck Mandan. People always ask from home back in St. Louis, they're like, what's it like? What's it like? What are the people like? And I go, well, I said, it's like, remember when you met your in-laws for the first time? Your wife's dad's kind of like, who are you? Mm-hmm. Why are you here? What are your intentions, buddy? Everyone's a little skeptical of you. I said, but if you take care of, you take care of them, you treat people right, you do things the right way. Uncle Larry's got you in a headlock and you're a part of the family, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how we felt. Not one fan, not one, was like, give us our money back. We need it now. Oh my God, this guy's falling. Most people were like, you're playing, duh. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we got. Yeah. And so when we got the call, it was early May. The governor came out and said, events can happen based off a capacity ratio. That was key because it wasn't a number, right? You say 100, 500, then we're screwed. Capacity. So they, the guidance all came out, and I said very much to our team, we're going to play, but we've got to do it safely, and we're going to do it right. Business has been given this opportunity to innovate and shine, but we're going to do it right because, that was key. And, there's a lot of things that went into that, but we put this whole 3-team thing together and no travel, test the players, and we freaking played and we pulled it off. So
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved all 3 teams. I still wear my flicker tail hat. And it was sweet to just see the ability to, do what you needed to do with poise, because there was, all of a sudden it's like 3 teams, we're all staying here. It's going to be the same 3 teams all year. And then I'm assuming, people showed up.
Oh, it was great. Watch. Again, people ask, well, so we gave every fan the option. You could push you could defer your ticket. You didn't feel safe. You could defer to the following year. We'll give you a full credit for the next year. Out of all of our those flock members and corporate accounts, 95% stayed.
Wow.
95%.
So explain that 3-team concept.
Yeah. So we again, so now we know we can play, right? So we're about 6 weeks out from I didn't know when we'd start officially, but in this timeline, we're 6 weeks out from starting. So in the league's basically had to stop. In the league, obviously the league operates in a lot of different states, a lot of different political climates. And as we know, unfortunately, it was very politically divided on what happened with COVID. So the league was at a standstill. And I ended up calling the league office and I said, Dick, hey, this is happening here. We are the leaders of this in the country. I said, please, we got to do it right, but can you please give me flexibility if I come up with something? And he was like, absolutely, like let's go. What do you got? And I said, so here's the deal. Our every team we play mostly is in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. We just felt confident it's just not going to open, right? It's just going to be a drag, and we can't have that unpredictability, right? What if we start the league and then Minnesota shuts down, right? then what do you do? So I said, Dick, and we were the first team to create even this pod concept. I just said, Dick, what I'm thinking is, what if we had 3 teams? It's not ideal, but 3 teams, we house them here. Okay. And we had a team in Thunder Bay, Canada, right? Obviously Canada, we knew was shut down and closed in the border. So I said, there's a lot of players from that team that are United States born players that can't even go. I said, so what if one of the teams, we give these guys an opportunity, because that's a big thing people don't think about. These players didn't get to play. Mm-hmm. The setback on their careers, from that year, we had 6 guys in 2020. 6 guys ended up getting drafted in last year's draft. We're so proud of that. We're so proud of that because they ended up getting a shot. They got seen. So we knew that. And then I called my head coach and I said, can you recruit a team in 6 weeks? And he was like, yeah, this will be easy. No one's playing. I can get a team. So Dick said, okay, I'll give you the go ahead. So that eliminated travel. Right. Then obviously, there's a lot that goes into that. I got to call the hotel, and the hotels were great. Our hotel, Gangle Hospitality, without those guys, we can't make it happen. Ramada, Bismarck, and the Baymont Inn and Suites and Mandan, no one's staying in a hotel. They said, guys, look, I don't have a lot of money, but I had a bus bill I was going to have. If I can give you my bus bill and for whatever the difference is, what else can we do? And they said, look, we'll figure out a way to make this work. Mm-hmm. So literally 2 teams stayed at the hotels the whole summer. And the other team did stay with host families, but host families had to, sign off and be okay with it. And so we within 6 weeks, we pulled it off. The brands actually are funny, the Flicker Tails and the Bull Moose, because to create a brand's kind of a hard thing to do too. I have 6 weeks. And so I go back to our name contest back in 2017, and the 3 finalists were the Bismarck Flicker Tails, the Bismarck Bullies, which was after the Bully Pulpit. Mm-hmm. And I kind of knew where I wanted to go with that. And I wanted the chain bullies I didn't really maybe like, and so I thought Bismarck Bull Moose, but I had the logo concept already done, so we just resurrected those, and I was like, okay, let's go, and just did it. So
that's awesome.
It's crazy.
It's nice. Crazy. It's nice because rarely do you get to create a team from scratch, but then all of a sudden it's like, hey, at least I got to do this again. Where you're, thinking of logos, color schemes, and all that stuff.
Well, I'm going to be clear. I never want to do it again. It was not a fun, enjoyable process like it would normally be, because it was like every day was. And there is something, too, I think, about people that start businesses that are a little off because something about that gets me going. Like, when there's crisis or there's something that has to get done, I can get really focused, and it was just like, zone in every day, true purpose. And our staff, our staff worked so hard, but everyone had purpose. There was a shared mission, a deep mission to make this happen, and it was, you look back and God, was it, again, never again, but maybe one of the coolest, like, things I've ever gone through, and one of the closest. Again, I tell people it wasn't our best season, but it was our most impactful season. It was our most important season we ever had.
What did it do for your team? I mean, you're the leader during this kind of uncertain time. Did it draw people together, I'm guessing, or in your leadership during that time?
Huge. Yeah. You just shared mission. We've always had a shared mission that's driven us, but anything. That's the hardest thing I've learned running a business now for 7 years. It's people management, people motivation, always looking to be the next best, greatest thing. That's not easy to do. And that's why it's kind of fun in 7 years. I don't even look at the last 7 years of the seven continual years. It's like, AC and BC, before
For
COVID
sure.
and after COVID. It's really two distinct moments in time. And, but it was a very motivational, jolting. There was a hangover after, for sure. Right. You put so much energy and adrenaline into something. It's like, it's almost that next year. It's like, oh, okay, how do we jumpstart this? But still, we survived and
How many
thrived.
people were on your team then? About
Probably 9.
9 people?
Yeah, I think probably 9 or maybe 10.
The temperature of the organization is going to be affected based on
Yeah.
your leadership, obviously, but it's going to be a huge difference if it's like, we don't know what tomorrow is, just kind of like,
Well, we
hold
told,
on,
but
guys.
Yeah, but that's where I told everybody. I said, you don't need to worry about that. Like, we knew.
Yeah.
I said, if we figure something out this summer, we're good, right? Like, there was no, and even this was before PPP and all this stuff, right? It was never a doubt. I wouldn't do. I've been an employee, and we knew. I said, guys, everyone's good. Let's just. But I need this team to be innovative, and I need this team to figure this out with me, and that's where it was awesome because the team did it, and then we got through it, and remarkably, after everything, PPP and the season, and not only did we keep everyone employed, we did not lose any customers' trust. We had a good year. And then we were able to double down and reinvest and make 2021 a great year. So it was cool.
That's pretty incredible, just to not lose customers' trust during that time. You're kind of like, it's a tightrope that you're walking because that you just did really well, obviously, because it's pretty divisive. I don't know if you noticed, so just to be able to do that. It's pretty incredible.
And that might be maybe one of my most proudest accomplishments in that time because, I find politics I find it fascinating, and I love the topics and the issues, but I tell people we're a baseball team. We bring people together. I don't care where side you're on. You have a family. We get one shot at this life. And so we are going to be happy and and we're going to talk and communicate, and we're going to cheer together and high five together and eat hot dogs together. And so that's what we do. So that's why, to me, it was so important. And I am so incredibly grateful to the state for allowing business to innovate and be safe. Look at what was Governor Burgum's thing, freedom and responsibility, personal responsibility. Some people didn't take that seriously. And, to me, shame on them. And then some people, it was, the sky is falling, shut it down. I don't believe in that. So I took it very seriously. We need to do it right. And, but we need a chance to survive. And our fans are so grateful. Again, it wasn't perfect. I'm sure there are things we did wrong, but we pulled that off, that tightrope. That I'm so proud of that.
So you said this using fun to make a difference in people's lives. Is that something that you've said before? Yeah. Is that like a? No,
that's everything to me. Yeah. So I remember being on I was on a trip after this was when I was in Kalamazoo, and I think it was the year I knew a whole year in advance before I moved to Bismarck. Once I knew I was having a year to prep right? But I'm a big, like, I love business and vision, mission, strat. I mean, I get weird into the weeds on it, right? Strategy, tactics, goals. Our employees just hate me for it, right? We get so minute how we're going to measure it and track it. And so I knew, again, all the great businesses have that why. They have that true rudder, and I could always tell you why I was in this business, for entertainment and fun and the memories, but I didn't have a slogan that catchphrase that like could just drive everything. And so I was, on a trip with my wife and reading Start With Why. And the book is just a mess. I'm writing notes and I'm just trying to I'm like, why? Why? And I'm like, it just hit me. And I'm like, where fun makes a difference. Like we're in the fun business, but it's not just fun for fun. Like, it's got to make an impact, right? And on the stakeholders, it's not, you've heard shareholders versus stakeholders. Like I've always thought, man, with employees, if you take great care of employees, if fun makes a difference for employees and they are paid well and they are passionate and they can grow and they feel accountable and committed, like, they're going to work harder. And they're going to love what they do, right? That's awesome, right? And then they'll work harder and take care of your customer. And your customer's taken care of, they'll spend more money. And that's ultimately ownership will be taken care of. So every facet of what we do, we ask ourselves, how can fun make a difference for, and then we start strategically getting into that. So, that's our driving force. You'll see it everywhere in our stuff. I mean, that is our core. I go back to that for every single thing we do. Are we using fun to make a difference? Did fun make a difference here? So that built the business.
And out of the your organization has been recognized out of the Northwoods League. Have you seen people use you as a case study or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, again, and we use a lot of other teams as case studies, but yeah, we've been 2-time organization of the year in the Northwoods League. Probably another cool thing, Front Office Sports is a really big publication in the sports business world. They named us one of the top employers in sport in 2021, along with the
awesome.
Savannah Bananas and the Denver Broncos. I mean, the Bismarck Larks. I mean, crazy. And so, but we take pride in that, and again, we have a lot of young people. We have 16 full-time people now between the Larks and Fanatics events, on top of 6 people up in Minot with the Hot Tots. And, we're and there are a lot of young people, a lot of people that moved here. Actually, I think of the 22 employees, 4 are from North Dakota, so they've moved here. They've moved their families here. That's not easy all the time to run a company that's young and they're learning, but they have aspirations and you're trying to grow them. But I try to listen. I try to put myself in their shoes, and we have such a great team. I love the people I get to work with every day.
When you began, and then you're maybe facing the cynicism of someone trying to start this again. You go to Larks now, and there's the community support, I think, that you would expect off of such a successful organization. But when you began, I'm expecting that didn't exactly happen. So when was it like really rolling? Was it like season 1, or is it like now you're just in this groove and people are just coming to you with opportunities?
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, so a little history. So like I said, season 1, we go at it, and we have our team, and we have our philosophy, and we're ready to go. We sell these 7-packs out, 1,100 by December. And that to me was the green light. That's all I needed as a sales. Because I love talking to people and sharing. We could literally talk for 3 hours on this, right? But that was the go for me. This is going to work. I knew it. I just knew it. So now I have a compelling story to sponsors. I have a compelling story to corporate tickets for, season tickets. I can now, get another employee to focus on the entertainment. I'm like, okay, here we go. And so, then year 1, we sold out 27 games, and again, we did a lot of things wrong. Oh my God. You guys have no idea. The food and beverage operation, we're one of the largest restaurants in the state of North Dakota, 36 nights of the year. 90% of all of our tickets, 90% include food and beverage. Okay. We're doing buffets. buffets outside in the windiest state in the union. All right. It's a little ridiculous. All right. We're in Parks and Rec is great. You know, the facilities was not, I mean, it's a great facility, but it was not built for our operation. There's just not a lot of concession stands, no kitchen. So there's a lot of things that we didn't, you know, we could have done better and we've, you know, grown on. But what we wowed people with that first year was like, holy crap, this is a circus. I mean, most people left the game and went, John, I don't know who won, but man, we had fun. And it snowballed, right? Because people went out to the one game, they're like, what is this? It's sold out. That's unheard of in Bismarck, North Dakota. What do you mean I can't walk up and get a ticket? So and then wait, all that, it's all inclusive, and you can go here, get food, and I mean, this is crazy. So then year 2, you know, was just boom. We added 300 seats. Our deck down the line sold out 30 of 36 games with 300 more seats. 2019, 97% of every single ticket we had sold out. Then COVID hits. Holy cow, but still a good, you know, we get through it. 2021, the only thing that didn't fully rebound would have been our civic groups, which is your church groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, things like that, because there was still that unease with groups like that. So we were about 92% sold out, and then last year, 97.5% sold out. Right now, this year, you know, new video board, new rivalry, all-star game, created some new group areas. So we're constantly trying to reinvent ourselves, having some very fruitful and exciting discussions with Bismarck Parks and Rec, along with the youth groups, governors, other teams. You marry other teams about a long-term phase 3 renovation plan at Muni. So that's kind of the next chapter that we're going down. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, early on, I do, even though it's grown and we've changed and tried to keep layering on the experience, early on, I think we knew it's like, this is good. This is good.
Yeah. And as you're leading a growing organization, is there anything that sticks out, like a mistake that you made, like I wish I didn't do it that way kind of moment?
Yeah. Where do we start? Here's the therapy. You guys did say you're going to try to make me cry. And maybe this is where I start crying.
It's what we do here.
What have I done wrong? Well, oh my God, we made a lot of mistakes. People do ask me that, like, oh, you go back, what's your one thing you do different? I really, really mean this. I cannot pinpoint one thing I would go back and do different. Just like, you know, I love the man in the arena quote. I saw Teddy Roosevelt when I walked in here. Named my daughter Teddy. I'm a fan.
Wow.
You just learn, you know? And so I think my favorite part of us failing or messing up at any time is I've always stressed this to our team. When we do fail, we will fail greatly. We will also be very transparent. You know, like, I remember year 1, everyone got this free jersey with their 7-game pack, right? And everyone wanted their jersey. Oh my gosh, they're just excited. Well, we ordered it from a company, just, you know, they tell you one thing, it's later, blah, blah, blah. It's late. We set we said people would be here. It wasn't at that date. Now people are like, oh, these guys, first year, these, you know, oh my gosh, you know, these guys, maybe are they full of it? And maybe they're not going to do what they said they're going to do. You know, you have all this stress and high anxiety. Shoot, I want to deliver on our promises. We're not delivering. And then they finally come in like a week in the season, and I open the box, and it's funny now, but I remember opening it, and every jersey on the left shoulder right here, it said left shoulder.
Oh, I remember. Why do I remember this?
Because it was a thing.
Well, no, but I think it just came up. I think you guys even said something about it. The Larks made a joke about it.
Well, yeah,
because you can laugh about it.
This is the story that, like, I tell people as I open the box and it says left shoulder.
Someone working over there is,
and
I go,
what on? I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm just dumbfounded. And I go back and I look at the email. You know, there's proofs on stuff that you order. Mm-hmm. Well, the proof does say left shoulder, but any reasonable human being would just think that the designer was trying to dictate the front and the back of the jersey to us.
Yeah,
who would want left shoulder on the left shoulder? I can't think of any situation that we'd want that. So the company's trying to argue, and it doesn't even matter, right? But we have to, like, not only are fans like, oh, okay, finally we get our jerseys, but they all say left shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I remember I just said, you know what? This is just too much. I just have to be fully transparent with our fans, and we're going to take our lumps, but I have to. And I wrote an email to everybody, and it said, The title was Swing and a Miss. and I just outlined what happened. And that I said, look, here's the deal. It's going to cost us as much as the jersey cost us to get this taken off and get you get you a jersey without the left shoulder on there. And so I said, but we're going to do it. If you want it done, you tell us, we'll get it to the local print shop. They'll take it off and we'll do it. I said, but if you want your jersey now too, and you're okay with it saying left shoulder, okay. And again, we had some people who were not happy and had some people who took us up on that. But overall, we handed them out those next games. And I mean, now people still come up to me and they go, I love my left shoulder jersey. It's fun. And I think so again, I think anytime there's been a mistake or something, it's just own up to it, be transparent, and how can we, have fun with it,
Yeah.
And,
it helps you put your jersey on, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's too bad at that time. It's like, oh, hey, 7 years of success from now, we're gonna laugh about this.
Yeah,
It's too bad you couldn't do that.
Can't say that.
day one.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't know, buddy. But
Right.
But it's great that that's the thing that sticks out in your mind, especially now when people are coming up to you and saying,
yeah,
I love that jersey.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is. And I think, for any listeners that are big fans, the one thing I've probably been the most critical of myself now, and it needs to change. I'm would be, and again, we do not sell the wins and losses, right? Mm-hmm. But winning's fun. And unfortunately, in our 7-year history, we've made the playoffs. We've had great play. I love our guys every year. I mean, when you meet these guys, they are incredible human beings. They come here, they give back to the community, they buy into our mission. You couldn't ask for better, guys. Seriously, year in and year out. Mm-hmm. But outside of 2018, when it making the playoffs, we have not been great on the field. And again, I don't come from that background. I how it works in our league is you are typically the coach or the general manager, whoever wants to recruits the team. They have contacts in the college realm, and you recruit a team and you put them on the field, and the coach coaches them. And I've delegated that to our coaches. We've had 2 fantastic coaches, but it's not an easy thing to do. It's a lot of unpredictability at times, and we've just not been competitive on the field. So it is one area where, as I'm fortunate, I have a great team, and some of the things I have done in the past, I've been able to delegate and build leaders that are taking some of those things on. And so it's something I've talked with our head coach, and it's something I'm very even much more focused on is the next years ahead, because we have to change our strategy. We have to go about it differently if we're going to expect different results. So that's probably one thing if we failed at is deliver, because we have such great loyal fans. And I know, and you go to the game, a game will be sold out, but there is maybe it's we call it the no-show rate, 30%, 25, 15% of the tickets, people just, they're busy or something happens. If you're winning when you win, I feel like that, that upticks. There's just that next level of buzz. So that's to me the next one of the next frontiers is to strategically, systematically go after doing that differently.
Great. So now talking about, play on the field, you grew up a baseball fan, enough to want to work in that world. Has your love of baseball, the sport, shifted now that you are in ownership and all this other thought that goes into the sport? Can you enjoy baseball anymore?
So much more for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love last night I stayed up watching the draft, I think I have more appreciation for I've always enjoyed the experience of it, and again, the Cardinal fan, whatever you are, like the stars you have, but I'm finding myself more interested in college baseball, the development of it. What are these young guys looking for? How are they using data and technology to perform and get better? How are teams, what are they looking for at the next level? Because truly, if we're going to use fun to make a difference for the players, we can make sure they have a great host family and great food and they have fun while they're here. I think we've done that really well. But are we providing them the best opportunity to develop? Are we providing them the best opportunity to grow from here and be better in college and start in college and get drafted or sign that pro contract? that to me, I've gained more appreciation getting to know our guys, their journeys, their stories. And so, yeah, I love it. I love the game. And there's so much to learn from the game. It's just such a fun, nuanced game that it really is. It's enjoyable.
I think baseball is the best game that can teach you life, especially in an entrepreneur world.
Sure.
Because you have 2 outs and the ball goes through your legs, and then you know the next one's coming right at you, and you need to get that last out. And then you can, if you get that out, the one that went through your legs, people kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
And I think that baseball is the best reference for life and a business life for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nolan Ryan Johnson. He's named after him.
Yeah. We've got
cool.
three people in our family that are named after baseball players. So.
John, this has been great. I love your outlook on life, on entrepreneurship, on starting an organization. Is there anything left to add?
Yeah, the only thing that I would just say, anyone listening, or again, to you guys, that I'm so grateful for, just is the support and buy-in from this community to trust us with entertainment. We've not just created the Larks and the brand there, but Fanatics Events, which you referenced, just to touch on a little bit. That is one of the most exciting things I get to do every day. We are now getting to work with local events. Nonprofits are creating our own events because we said, how do we create more fun? We can only have 36 Larks games. So how can we create more fun? So this started back in 2019, the Bismarck Marathon, which I know you're a big runner and athlete. I'm sure you too.
I'm a big
runner.
Yeah.
Jeez. And so we have been so fortunate to work with them now since then, helping with marketing, sales, the back end customer experience pieces, sponsorship activation, sponsorship sales, and then just that element of how can we create and make it a little bit more fun, right? The event and letting the board now, this incredible volunteer nonprofit board, focus on what they love, which is running and the course management and all those pieces. So we have that. We've completed our 2nd year with the Mandan Rodeo. What a fun event.
I was there.
Unbelievable.
The new facility.
I am not from a rodeo background, and I had never gone to a rodeo until last year. What a cool deal. The history, the pride for those events, for what the Mandan Rodeo means and is. Just so grateful to be a part of that, and had 2 sellouts, 4,000 seats at the Dale Paulke Arena.
Awesome.
So that's fun. And we started to dabble in our own festivals. So I don't know if you saw, we had Mac and Cheese Festival.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning a lot. I think there's things, again, you start these things, oh gosh, fix this, do that, tweak this. But what I think we're finding is the community wants it. I mean, it's had 13, we at 100 people walked up. I mean, and it was like, oh my gosh. So we're doubling down, investing in our staff, our equipment, our operation there even more, because I think that's a huge growth sector we can keep enhancing and getting better at in our community. So very grateful to those entities, like in the Dakota Speedway, a couple others events that we, Designer Jeans 5K. I mean, it's all over the map, right? I mean, it's fun. We have a good team there, but that'd be the other thing, just to let listeners know, if you have an event, if you're interested in just going out and having fun, obviously the Larks, we are where fun makes a difference. Come online, larksbaseball.com, check out the website, see what we're up to, and we'd love to help build a memory for you and your family. So
awesome. Great. John, thank you.
Thanks guys. Yeah. This coffee's great, by the way.
Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Jackson with Mighty Missouri Coffee. With me is Nolan Johnson with Quantum Digital. So if you like how this sounds and looks, thanks to Quantum Digital, if you like the way that this smells and tastes, that's thanks to Mighty Missouri Coffee. Coffee to your door, mightymissouri.com.